80 years ago, during World War II, the Pacific Ocean witnessed the grandest battles involving aircraft carriers ever recorded. Today, tensions in this region are escalating once more. However, the key players are no longer the United States and Japan, but the United States and China. Both nations are actively constructing new naval vessels, forming fleets, and preparing for potential confrontations with one another. The introduction of the Ford-class aircraft carriers marks a significant step in this ongoing competition. Could the Pacific Ocean become the stage for a new cold, or even hot, war between two of the world's most powerful nations? Let's explore this question in today's discussion. Since their inception under the CVN-21 program in 2004 and the keel laying in 2009, Ford-class carriers have epitomized American naval strength, entering active service in 2017. These vessels are costly, intricate, and innovative, redefining naval warfare capabilities. At first glance, the Ford-class carriers resemble their predecessors, the Nimitz-class, in appearance. Yet, beneath their familiar exterior lie numerous technological and strategic advancements. Without these, the ship wouldn't have demanded a staggering $12.8 billion for construction, plus an additional $4.7 billion for research and development. The lead ship, USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, boasts a massive 100,000 displacement in remarkable dimensions, 1,106 feet in remarkable dimensions, 1,106 feet in length, 1,106 feet in length, rivaling many skyscrapers. This vast size allows Ford-class carriers to function as floating cities complete with their own airfields. The USS Gerald R. Ford can carry up to 90 aircraft, including cutting-edge Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II jets, Boeing F/A-18E/F Super Hornets, C-2 Greyhound transport planes, EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft, Northrop Grumman E-2 Hawkeye early warning planes, Sikorsky SH-60 Seahawk helicopters, and advanced drones currently under testing by the U.S. Navy and Air Force. The military is already planning to increase this capacity, potentially equipping future Ford-class carriers with 100 or more aircraft. Looking ahead, these carriers will also support the 6th generation F/AX fighters and collaborative combat aircraft, CCA drones, also known as loyal wingmen, being developed by the U.S. Navy. At the core of the Ford-class carriers are two Bechtel A-1B nuclear reactors, which previously powered roughly 80% of U.S. nuclear power plants. These reactors replaced the Nimitz-class A. Ford W engines, as the older models couldn't support the energy demands of Ford's advanced systems. The A-1B reactors, generating 700 megawatts of thermal power, 25% more than the 550 megawatts of the Nimitz reactors, will sustain the Ford's operations until 2105. Among the ship's innovations are its electromagnetic aircraft launch systems, EMALS, which use linear induction motors instead of traditional steam catapults. EMALS reduces stress on aircraft during launch, eliminates the need for steam storage, and frees up valuable deck space. This technology boosts sortie rates by 25% and cuts maintenance crew requirements by the same percentage, saving the U.S. Navy over $4 billion over the Ford class's lifespan. For landings, the Ford class employs the Advanced Arresting Gear, AG, which also uses electromagnetic technology. Unlike outdated hydraulic systems, AAG uses an electromagnetic brake that converts an aircraft's kinetic energy into electrical energy, allowing precise control during deceleration. This system is particularly suited for drones, whose structures may not withstand the strain of hydraulic arresting gear. AAG was designed with future aircraft, such as those in the Next Generation Air Dominance program, in mind, not just the F-35. One of the most challenging innovations was the advanced weapons elevators. These 11 elevators, capable of moving at 150 feet per minute and carrying up to 24,000 pounds, swiftly transport munitions from storage to aircraft. This allows rearming an air wing in minutes rather than hours. Despite initial technical difficulties requiring extensive engineering efforts, these elevators are now fully functional and highly efficient. living up to the ship's innovative reputation. The Ford class inherited its radar system not from the Nimitz class, but from the futuristic Zumwalt class destroyers. Although the Zumwalt program was halted due to high costs, its dual-band radar, DBR, developed by Raytheon, was adapted for the USS Gerald R. Ford. The DBR integrates an X-band multifunction radar with an S-band volume search radar, using 3 phased arrays to track low-altitude targets and provide reliable performance in all weather conditions. Starting with the CVN-79 John F. Kennedy, however, the DBR was replaced with the Enterprise Air Surveillance Radar, ESR, saving taxpayers over $180 million. This change also reduced the cost of future Ford-class carriers from $12.8 billion to a still substantial $11.3 billion to a still substantial $11.3 billion. While halving costs is unlikely, achieving a $10 billion price tag for the 3rd or 4th ships in the class is feasible. The U.S. Navy shipbuilding plan for 2025. 2054 aims to expand the fleet to 381 vessels, including 12 supercarriers, with the Ford class comprising the majority. Excluding the USS Gerald R. Ford, 6 ships are planned or named: CVN-79 John F. Kennedy, CVN-80 Enterprise, CVN-81 Doris Miller, CVN-82 William J. Clinton, and CVN-83 George W. Bush. The Navy remains committed to building at least 10 Ford-class carriers. However, the greatest challenge lies not in long-term planning, but in countering China's growing naval capabilities, particularly its anti-access area denial systems. The Ford-class carriers are more than just ships. They're strategic assets designed to operate in high-threat environments saturated with anti-ship missiles. They must evade attacks, conduct precise airstrikes, and dominate contested airspace. Enter China, which has rapidly developed its naval capabilities, from having no aircraft carriers. Ford's 90. Additionally, Fujian relies on conventional power, requiring significant fuel storage, unlike the nuclear-powered Ford class. The challenge for Ford-class carriers intensifies when Fujian deploys its Xi'an KJ-600 airborne early warning aircraft, enabling the PLAN to operate independently far from Chinese shores. While the Ford class operates within a broader network of satellites, drones, submarines, and global bases, China's proximity to potential conflict zones, like Taiwan, could offset some U.S. advantages. The U.S. uses carriers for power projection, while China views them as part of an integrated system to control nearby seas and deter foreign intervention, guided by its A2/AD strategy. China's A2/AD system is a multi-layered defense designed to block enemy forces from operating in specific areas. It includes long-range systems like the DF-21D and DF-26 ballistic missiles, dubbed carrier killers, with a range of up to 3,100 miles, covering much of the western Pacific. China is also developing cruise missiles 100 miles, covering much of the western Pacific weapons, and Type 055 destroyers with advanced radar systems. Combined with fortified artificial islands hosting air bases, this creates a formidable barrier for U.S. carrier groups near Taiwan. Even with their technological edge, Ford-class carriers must operate cautiously. China faces its own challenges, particularly its lack of operational experience compared to the U.S. Which is decades of carrier operations from Korea to the Persian Gulf. This competition extends beyond ships. It's a clash of visions for the future. The outcome will shape not only naval power, but the entire security framework of the Asia-Pacific region. Which side do you think will prevail? Are aircraft carriers nearing obsolescence, soon to be replaced by new technologies? Share your thoughts below. If you found this content engaging, please like, subscribe, and enable notifications for more. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.